This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Work can be a little weird. Cringy training seminars, coworkers who won't stop talking about their plant, forgetting the mute button at an inopportune moment. We have to deal with a lot on any given workday. Sometimes it can feel hard to thrive and move forward in your career. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in. LinkedIn helps you get ideas and insights from experts in your field, connect with people professionally, grow your network, and access tools designed to help you find the right fit for your next role. Whether you're just getting started, figuring out your next move, or looking to accelerate your career, LinkedIn is built to support you at every stage because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more. Running a business is hard enough. Don't make it harder with a dozen apps that don't talk to each other. One for sales, another for inventory, a separate one for accounting. That's software overload. Odoo is the all-in-one platform that replaces them all. CRM, accounting, inventory, e-commerce, HR, fully integrated, easy to use, and built to grow with your business. Thousands have already made the switch. Why not you? Try Odoo for free at odoo.com. That's odoo.com. Hey everybody, we're coming to your town, so you better get ready, put on your best duds, and come out and see us. But first, buy some tickets.
That's right. We are finishing up. These are the last shows of our 2023 tour. We're going to be in Orlando, Florida on August 12th, Nashville, Tennessee on September 6th, and wind it all up here in Atlanta on September 9th.
Yes, and you can get all the info you need and links to tickets, which are on sale now, at our website, stuffyoushouldknow.com, on our tour page, or you can go to linktree/SYSK.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know, a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh, and there's Chuck, and there's Jerry. The three of us just inching along in life together, trying to make do, making our way in the world today. It takes everything we've got. Oh, yeah, and this is Stuff You Should Know.
Cheers.
Cheers, Chuck.
Cheers. If it's an episode where we say mouth parts,
I knew you were going to say this.
Then we're going back to the old school from our, I was about to say former colleague. Tracy's still our colleague. We just never see anyone anymore.
Right. Fully our colleague.
Tracy Wilson, co-host of the Stuff You Missed in History class, along with Holly. They're wonderful. They've been around for years. They're icons of podcasting. Tracy used to write a bunch of insect articles for HowStuffWorks.com back in the day.
She very legendarily stayed up for 72 straight hours and wrote like more than 24 insect articles in that time. They just got weirder and weirder as the time went on.
I almost believed that for a second. But Tracy always does a great job with those, or did a great job. And most of the insect articles we've ever used have been Tracy's original, like the ticks and the fleas, and I don't think ants, but bees probably, wasps.
She's a master of it for sure.
I mean, she wrote a lot of them, and this one about caterpillars was from Tracy. Along with stuff from World Atlas, Indy 88, and breedingbutterflies.com. But I just realized today when I was researching this some more that we haven't done butterflies yet.
No.
Which is shocking.
We've done one.
We did the wings, like the iridescence.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, and we talked about them in the animal migration episode too.
Yeah, but not a standalone on butterflies. So we're going to talk about their counterpart. And one of the facts of the episode already for me is that caterpillars that eventually turn into butterflies, it's the same species. It's still the same thing.
Right. We should
never knew that.
We should do it too. You didn't?
I just figured it like, well, now it's something else, like entirely.
Huh. But did you know about the transformation in the chrysalis or cocoon and everything? Did you know they do
sure.
that? Okay.
I knew how it happened, but I thought it was like presto changeo. Now you're not whatever Latin name you are. You're a new Latin name.
Oh, gotcha. So like they just became a completely different animal, basically, or a different insect.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, no, they're the same thing. They're just configured differently.
Yeah, they got wings.
Like a transformer. Like they go from boombox to robot with a gun.
That's right.
You know? But in a much more organic, soupy way, as we'll see.
Yeah.
I love this one, Chuck. Like every kid knows about caterpillars. You go look at them in the garden and everything, and they're super cute and weird looking, and you learn the hard way not to touch some of them. But I did not know a lot of this stuff either. And it's endlessly fascinating to me, especially if you step back and think about a life stage where an organism undergoes such a complete transformation that their cells, they break themselves down to their cells and then are rebuilt into a new version. Not that many animals do that. And scientists aren't exactly sure how or even why that evolved, although why is kind of teleological, but how that evolved. It's just this really bizarre thing that we're so aware of, we kind of just take for granted until you really stop and think about it. I love caterpillars, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And it was also one of those where I kept looking and kept looking. I was like, how has this been sitting here under our noses all this time?
I don't know.
Because it's right up our alley to talk about something like caterpillars, and we're going to do that right now.
Yeah, one of the reasons why they are so different and they're configured differently is that a caterpillar's life, it is the larval stage of an adult moth or butterfly. That's probably the best easy definition of a caterpillar. The reason that it's configured differently than its adult form is because in the larval stage, its entire life is pooping, eating, pooping, molting, eating, pooping, molting. That's what I saw the caterpillar's life described as over the course of 5 different molts, as we'll see. That's all it does. That's all it wants to do. It just wants to eat. So it's designed essentially as an eating machine.
Yeah, kind of shark-like. And as Tracy points out, like it's a very singular purpose. And that same butterfly has a singular purpose later on, which is propagating the species.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying. But the caterpillar, yeah, it's very shark-like. All it does is eat and store food and poop it out. And they eat so much that apparently they say that they can eat as much as 27 times their body size in their fairly short life. And they can end up being about 100 times bigger by the time they go to pupate, which is when they, hole up and turn into the butterfly, as when they pop out of that little egg that they also eat.
That's amazing. And if you want to see something just astounding, go look up a caterpillar egg or butterfly egg. I don't know which one you'd call it, but they look like little, have you ever seen Vaseline glass? They look like little, ornate Vaseline glass vases.
Yeah, they're very pretty.
Yeah. I mean, everything about butterflies are just great. Okay, I'm on board with them fully.
But yeah, that thing, I mean, it starts eating. It eats its way out of the egg. Then it says, well, I'll just eat the rest of the egg. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and eat this leaf that the egg is sitting on as well while I'm at it. And they said, wow, I really like eating. Maybe I should just keep eating for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Each one suddenly turns into Augustus Gloop and just keeps going from there.
That's exactly right.
So I said that it molts. Apparently it molts 5 different times. And the reason why it molts is because it eats so much it outgrows its skin.
It's amazing.
It has a mechanism where it releases an enzyme. There's a hormone that says, hey, you're getting a little, your clothes are getting a little tight. Maybe it's time to molt. And so that releases an enzyme that basically dissolves its attachment to the exoskeleton. And then the new, bigger version pops out of the old exoskeleton, walks away, and guess what it does immediately after? It starts eating again.
Yeah. It tries to outgrow that suit that it's wearing.
And it does that 5 times in its larval stage as a caterpillar.
Yeah, these molts are called instars. Did you say that?
That's the period of its life between molts.
Yeah. So 5 instars, and between molts, like you said, all it's doing is just eating, trying to get a larger suit size. But here's another cool fact, is they believe that not only do caterpillars have a memory that lasts like a molt or two, but they even think there are researchers at Georgetown that have sort of proven that, I don't know how you sort of prove something, but they feel pretty good about the fact that they think that a butterfly remembers being a caterpillar.
Yeah, they've done at least one study that showed that if they trained it to avoid certain smells as one of its last instars, it will remember that as an adult butterfly, that it'll avoid those same smells. That's pretty cool because as you'll see, what happens in the chrysalis is so mind-bending and nuts that the idea that it can remember anything is it's pretty amazing.
Oh, Yeah, for sure. I didn't even consider that. That is really hard to process.
So let's talk about the body. Like you said, it has mouth parts. Very important because it eats. And the rest of its body is essentially a storage facility for that food that it eats and that it breaks down and stores essentially as fat. They're very fatty.
Yeah, I get the idea that the inner body movement through that body tube never stops. It's just a conveyor belt almost of food coming in and poop leaving.
That's my impression too.
Yeah. The caterpillar is 6-legged. If you're like, whoa, Chuck, I've seen a caterpillar or two in my day, and they have tons of little legs. Those are not real legs. They only have 6 genuine legs, meaning that they have segments and joints. The rest of those are called prolegs, and there are a lot of those, and they move all up the length of the abdomen of the caterpillar. And at the end of those little prolegs, they have little suction cups, little hooks, basically. Is it a crochet, you think?
I think so,
crochet?
Yeah. I'm going with crochet.
Yeah, they're called crochets.
Or crotchets.
And crotchets. A crotch rocket. Isn't that what those really fast motorcycles are called?
Sure.
Okay. I didn't know if that was, a dirty thing to say or not.
No, that's all over. It's like douchebag now. It was at one time like not very nice, but now everybody says it. So it even shows up in like PG-13 movies.
Oh, I thought you meant it was okay to say.
It is.
You're a real douchebag. Okay.
Oh, no. It's not. It's still not
it's
nice
still an
to
insult.
say, but it's not like, a horrid thing to say like it used to be.
I gotcha. Because someone called me one the other day in a car, and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Did they really?
No.
Oh, okay.
They don't have bones, of course, but they do have lots. They're very muscly. If you compare them to a human, we have about 629 muscles. Caterpillars have 4,000 muscles because those muscles, that's the way they're moving. They move in a little wave from front to back. Front to back? Yes, front to back.
Back to front.
Back to front. How did I mess that up?
Well, it depends on which direction they're going, I guess.
Well, I guess so. And they move in a couple of ways. One of two ways is sometimes they're crawling, which means they're moving all of those prolegs and legs at the same time in sequence. Or they do what it sounds like an inchworm does, right?
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't identify them as inchworms, but that's what they're talking about. They can move in little arches where they bring their front to their back and their back together, making a mound out of their middle, their abdomen, and then they stretch the front out, and then they bring the back up, and then they stretch the front out. And that's what an inchworm does, and that's basically one of two ways, the other way, for a caterpillar to move. Either as a wave undulating, there's a lot of like really cool videos of caterpillars moving, or inching along.
Yeah, and I never looked close enough at an inchworm to figure out why they move that way. And I feel like a dummy now because it seems obvious. They move that way because their middle section doesn't have legs.
Right. It's pretty
cool. So the
cool.
front pulls the back because those are where the legs are, and the legs go, let me catch up. It's like a little cute accordion.
And it's really neat to see when you watch a close-up of a centipede, or I keep wanting to say centipede, but that's definitely a different animal. A caterpillar's prolegs moving as they attach themselves, like you said, they have a suction cup. They just attach themselves to like the branch or whatever that they're walking on. And if you watch it in close enough
detail,
yes, excellent, Chuck. You can really see those suction cups working, and it's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Most things on a caterpillar are small, obviously, including their little eyelets. They have 12 of those. They're called stomata. And if you do look closely, though, it's really cool looking. They're arranged in a semicircle, sort of wrapping around the head.
Like, what's his name from Reading Rainbow, but on Star Trek The Next Generation? LeVar Burton.
Yeah, LeVar Burton. Like his eyewear?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Except it would be on top of his head, though, right? Like a headband?
No, I think it's...
Is it more on the front? I thought it was more on top.
I thought it was on the front, but you could be right. It could be on top.
It's kind of hard to tell with a caterpillar head.
Right, exactly. You don't really know what's what. It's kind of like a Studebaker. You can't tell which way it's going.
Right.
That joke was for our aged listeners
That's
who
right.
love a good Studebaker joke.
Yeah, there's one little guy that's like, damn Skippy. So those stomata, they can identify light and darkness, but caterpillars are are basically blind. They're for sure colorblind. And they just, like I said, they can see sort of light and dark and shadow and stuff like that. But they are not like, they're not crawling around seeing things. They're kind of feeling their way around with those antennae that they have. But although those antennae only handle taste and smell, so I don't even know why I said that.
So they also breathe in a really interesting way. They breathe through spiracles, which are holes in the side of the caterpillar. And they breathe in oxygen. It goes directly to the trachea, and they breathe out carbon dioxide. And as they move, it's kind of like breathing in and breathing out. That's like a byproduct of their movement. And it all goes to that trachea, like I said, and the trachea just diffuses it to the tissue throughout the body. They have blood. It's called hemolymph, like most insects' blood, but it's not used to transport oxygen. It transports things like hormones that trigger molting and things like that. But the oxygen just diffuses throughout the body.
Yeah, an inchworm, it is like a little accordion. And if you could figure out how to build and insert a tiny little like wooden reed in each spiracle, that little thing might sound like an accordion as it moved.
That'd be pretty neat.
Kind of cruel too, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, probably. If you're sticking wood in the tiny breathing holes of a caterpillar, I don't think it would appreciate
Don't try that.
By the way, Chuck, did I tell you that caterpillar is from the Old French chatapellos, which means shaggy cat?
Oh, like the actor Timothy Chatapellos?
Is that?
Oh, no, that's Timothy Chalamet, sorry.
Right. Yeah, Timothy Shaggy Cat would be that name.
Kind of looks like a shaggy cat.
But apparently they think it was the is it the woolly bully caterpillar that inspired
I love those.
that? Yeah, that they think that was the original shaggy cat, and it just kind of caught on from there. But that's where caterpillar comes from.
Yeah, and speaking of woolly bully, you notice on caterpillars a lot of times those little hairs or little quills or spines. Those are called, oh man, we've even had scientists tell us how to pronounce that AE. Is it setae?
That's what I think it is, yeah.
It's either that or we've been getting it wrong. I can't remember, but everyone is like, in science, guys, anytime it's AE, you pronounce the blank, and I can't remember which one it is.
Setae?
Oh, it's either setae or setae, and I know we're going to get more emails, and maybe I should just put a sticky note on my laptop so I'll always remember that. But that's what they're called, and they have a lot of functions. They can deter things that want to eat caterpillars because a lot of times these things carry little irritants and toxins, and you just put a pin in that for our very final segment at the end. But like you said,
in that.
Yeah, you put you can get little irritated bumps sometimes if you handle the wrong caterpillar.
Oh yeah, and
you shouldn't handle a caterpillar.
It can get much worse than that too. Yeah, if you've ever touched a caterpillar, that's what I was referring to earlier. Like as a kid, I remember touching one and just being like, "Oh my God, what just happened?" And it hurt very badly. I remember distinctly, but I still love caterpillars after that.
I remember there was one kind, and someone will know what kind this is, but I think it was sort of yellow and black, and we would, put our fingy on the ground, and the caterpillar would crawl up our hand, and then we would like get a leaf and have it crawl off. So I don't think we harmed the caterpillar. We were just letting it kind of crawl on us for a minute. But and I wasn't touching the spine, so I never got that irritation. But I used to love doing that, and I just thought that was so cool that they, I guess now knowing that they're blind, they're just like crawling on a stick, and it's like now I'm crawling on a finger.
Right. Yeah, that's cute. But yeah, you wouldn't
stick like kid fingers.
You wouldn't have been touching the hair-like structures, so it wouldn't have stung you. It's not like, I don't think it's an active process. I think it's a passive thing where you just touch it, and they're not like die, die, die. It's just like you just touched it, and it did its thing passively.
Yeah. I get the feeling the caterpillar's even like, sorry, man, and it shouldn't touch me, but sorry. Most
caterpillars seem rather chill, but not all of them are. I was not happy to find this out. I find this rather unpleasant. But there's some species of caterpillars in Hawaii that are actually carnivores. Far and away, most species of caterpillars and hence butterflies are herbivores. They just eat leaves. That's what they do. They eat leaves and shoots. Wait, eat shoots and leaves.
Eat shoots and leaves.
So there's the ones in Hawaii, they'll eat snails. And not only do they eat snails, it's really awful. They tie the snails to, say, like a twig or a leaf or something, using spinnerets, they have silk-producing organs. And they'll tie the snail, the whole shell and all, to like a twig so the snail can't get away. And then they climb into the shell and eat the snail alive.
It is horrifying.
I don't like that particular kind of caterpillar, but I like all the rest.
Yeah, they tie it down and eat it.
It's so awful. Imagine it just coming into your house, too, and you're like, please no, and you have no escape, and that's that.
Yeah, it was pretty horrifying to read that, and frankly disappointing. But there's also a brand in Australia.
A brand of caterpillar.
They lay their eggs in anthills, and when they come out, they will eat those ants. But aside from that, in the Hawaiian, they, like you said, are strictly herbivores, and they are using those leaves also to camouflage themselves. They have a lot of great mechanisms to keep this not quite octopus level, but they seem like they're, I don't know if it's wrong to use the word smart, but they know to like feed under leaves so birds can't see them. They also have some natural camouflage, like sometimes those eyes can look like, the fake eyes can look like snakes.
Did you see that one?
Yeah, it looks like a snake.
Yeah, it looks like a bright green snake, and apparently they'll arrange themselves sometimes to make it look like a long snake. Like 300 caterpillars will get together and line up, and it's like, wow, there's a snake. No, it's a line of caterpillars.
Yeah, like a lot of them are solitary caterpillars, but there is, what was the one in particular that travel in groups? The
gregarious caterpillars.
Yeah, I get the feeling those are the ones that might do the old snake one too.
Yes. I think those are swallowtails and they might be gregarious, yeah. So I say we take a break, Chuck, and then we'll come back and I propose that we talk some more about caterpillars.
Let's do it.
We've all had the experience of calling a business and just wanting to talk to a real person. Not an automated voice pretending to be human, an actual person who can listen and understand and offer help.
That's exactly what you can do with Ruby. Ruby is the virtual receptionist company that takes care of your callers when you're unavailable in the middle of something or simply don't want to pick up.
That's right. They can answer, screen, transfer calls. They can take messages, collect payments, book appointments, and more, all while making the people you serve feel special.
And best of all, it can help you be more productive. For example, 9 out of 10 lawyers who use Ruby log more billable hours per day than the national average.
And other professionals like plumbers and technicians win more customers while being able to stay focused on the job. But whatever kind of small business you run, Ruby is built to save you time, earn you more customers or clients, and make meaningful connections with the people you serve.
It's available 24/7, 365 days a year, and 100% based in the U.S. See why more than 15,000 small businesses use Ruby. Visit Ruby.com, or better yet, call them at 844-900-RUBY.
The springtime thaw is finally here. Flowers are blooming, days are longer. We're saying yes to more plans and finally getting outside, running, walking, just moving again. It's the perfect time to upgrade your everyday go-tos with Bombas. Take Bombas Sport Socks. They're super comfortable and designed with sport-specific tech for running, cycling, yoga, hiking, you name it. I use them to run in, and I can tell you they work beautifully. So head over to Bombas.com and use code SYSK for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com, code SYSK at checkout.
So you're considering getting a home security system, but you want something that fits your space. Well, with ADT Blue, it's easy to customize a system that's right for you and set it up yourself. Just pick the kit and monitoring plan that makes sense for your home.
Yeah, well, let's say you're worried about package theft right off your front porch. The ADT Plus app can walk you through setting up a new doorbell camera kit. Once it's installed, ADT Pros can help you keep tabs on it 24/7, or you can manage it yourself from the ADT Plus app.
That's right. There are no long-term contracts, so you can change your monitoring plan whenever you want. The flexibility doesn't end there either. You can add to your system as you need with things like extra cameras or motion sensors.
Some life decisions are hard, but thanks to ADT Blue, you can get DIY trusted ADT home security in a snap. Head to adt.com/BLU to build your system today. And to find out more about home protection, check out a new episode of Grown Up Stuff with security expert Joe Mazza, out now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Learning stuff with Joshua and Charles. Stuff you should know.
Okay, so you mentioned a couple of things that they do to protect themselves. Camouflage, just eating a little bit on the underside of a leaf. There's a lot of other things that they can do too. There's so many different species of caterpillar. Because again, we're talking about moths and butterflies. They're not just all the same thing. That they've developed all sorts of really interesting means of defense. One of the ways they say the best defense is shooting your poop out. And there's a type of caterpillar that does that. I think it's the silver-spotted skipper. And skipper is basically a type of butterfly. And it shoots its waste, called frass, its poop, as far as 5 feet from itself in order to keep predators from being able to track it back to its source.
That explains that old saying, you ain't nothing but caterpillar frass.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew what they meant by
If you're really good at jumping, that's what they say to you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and that's one of the things they do, like several other things, which is it all sort of falls under the umbrella of I don't want anyone to know I'm like even here. Mm-hmm. So a poop will be a big giveaway, obviously. Another is if, like they love to eat, if a predator sees a ton of chewed up leaves everywhere, they're going to be like, ooh, the caterpillars nearby. I love to eat those things. Mm-hmm. So as much as those caterpillars love to eat, it is their singular purpose in life. They will many times just eat little bits off of many, many leaves to kind of disguise the fact, like no caterpillar here. There's just a few nibbles here and there.
Yeah, just leaf
rather than just like taking a leaf down to its spine.
Yeah, which even the dumbest of birds can be like, there's a caterpillar around here.
And you know they want to do that, but they still don't do it.
No, caterpillars have tremendous self-control.
They do.
We mentioned that they have spinnerets, that they can spin silk, and they use it to great effect in all sorts of different ways, including defense. Apparently, some kinds of caterpillars will like spin a little thing of silk that they'll attach to the leaf they're on, and when a predator comes, they just jump off.
Yeah,
basically like John McClane in Die Hard.
Uh-huh.
And they're attached to the silk, so they swing into a window in the Nakatomi building, and then climb back up when the bird goes away. But they just jump off the leaf to get away. I'll bet that's pretty neat to see.
That's right. And to combat jet lag, they make fists with their toes.
Yeah. What do you know?
I wonder if they leap. I'd like to see that in slow motion. I wonder if all those legs and pro legs at once do that in concert. That would be pretty cool.
Or if they inch, they just shoot themselves off. They inch so quickly that shoots them right off of the leaf.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one use of the silk is like literal climbing rope. Mm-hmm. And like we said, like the solo caterpillar, which is many of the I keep on saying brands. What a dummy. Varieties, species. There you go.
Sure.
They're just going around. They're eating. They're laying an egg. They're using the silk as a lasso, or maybe they might make a little nest. Mm-hmm. Like we said earlier, maybe they might restrain that snail. But those gregarious kinds that live in big groups, they really get going with the silk production. They make big nests in trees and around tree trunks.
Mm-hmm. You've probably seen them before.
Oh yeah, they're like big tents basically. Mm-hmm. If you've seen big, it looks like sort of a really dense spider web. I guess sometimes those are spiders, right?
Yeah, there's some kinds of spiders that do that, but I think probably more often than not what you're seeing are gregarious caterpillars getting together.
Yeah. But they also use their little spinnerets as like a trail. Like, hey, we're all going this way and we're going to lay this little trail. And we know that, if you want to get home, this is how you get home.
What's neat is those trails are often intergenerational. And so like
cool.
an older generation will leave that silk for the next generation to use. And that next generation then can grow bigger and stronger because they didn't have to use that energy to create the silk for that leads to the food source. I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah, like hand-me-down silk.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like, a length of rope that grandpa gave you.
Yeah, same thing. Hand-me-down silk, length of rope from grandpa.
What else?
There's another thing, too, that we haven't quite figured out, and I mean the entomology world, and by we, I also mean them, that it may or may not be advantageous to live in a gregarious community as opposed to being solitary. Because, yes, it's easier to build a big shelter for yourself if you have a bunch of other friends helping you. It's easier to find food if you have other people looking at the same time you are and then telling you what they found. But at the same time, you're also competing with those same people, or those same caterpillars, I should say.
Yeah.
And that can be a big problem too.
Yeah, I like it. Caterpillars are people too.
Exactly.
And if there's a disease, it's going to spread pretty readily within that population if they're all living together. But I think, we've held off long enough. We should talk about that metamorphosis.
Okay.
Which is what everyone wants to know about. And that is basically a caterpillar is doing its thing. It's going through those molts, hits that fifth molt, and they say, you know what? This has been great, but I think I'm tired of eating finally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go off and wander off into the woods. I'm going to find a safe spot, and I'm going to pupate everybody. And when you see me again, I will be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, pretty neat. And this is where the terminology gets really confusing if you do any research on this.
Yeah, it can, for sure.
So the pupa is often referred to as the form, the body form that the centipede or that the caterpillar is in as it enters the transformation, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's actually the life stage. Like the caterpillar is the larval life stage. The butterfly or the moth is the adult. The pupa is the life stage in between. But for all intents and purposes, you can also say that's a butterfly pupa, although that's a moth pupa, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest, most understandable part of it. It starts to get really strange from there because the butterfly caterpillar, when it emerges from that fifth molt, it has a special kind of skin on it. And over time, when it turns upside down and hangs from a leaf and begins its transformation, that skin hardens and it forms basically the protective layer that's going to protect that caterpillar turned butterfly as it undergoes its transformation. And that's called a chrysalis. But just butterfly caterpillars do that, right? Not moths?
I think that's right.
And then I think it's just moths, because they don't form chrysalis or chrysali, they are the only ones to spin a cocoon to protect themselves, correct?
Right. And that cocoon starts out kind of soft, but that eventually hardens as well. But I think that's right. But the chrysalis itself is not some like shell they build.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is the thing.
Yeah, it's the outer layer of skin. Okay.
Yeah, because it can actually twitch and move as a defense.
Yeah.
Like it's a thinking, sentient, well, not thinking necessarily, but it is a shell that is a living thing. It's not like, let me build this, this thing to get into. It is the thing that it is in.
Right. So imagine if you underwent this transformation, you would probably go off into a corner and kind of ball up, maybe in a bit of a fetal position.
Yep.
But then imagine as part of this process, all of your skin fused together.
Oh, yeah.
And turned into like an outer shell rather than, this thing covering you. It's like this big ball that you're now kind of separated from inside and you're doing your thing inside.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like what the chrysalis is like.
Yeah. And so we mentioned the silk, like the uses as like a climbing rope and stuff like that, and to build little nests. Mm-hmm. It really comes in handy when it's time to pupate. Because they use this silk in a variety of ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way for a caterpillar to metamorphosize. Sometimes, like you said, they hang upside down from that leaf, so they've spun like a little silk pad that attaches to something. Sometimes they create like a little hammock. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they make like a little sling in concert with a stick. There are different ways that they can do this, but it always involves using silk to sort of stabilize itself, either upside down or right side up or sideways or whatever.
Right.
And then they start to do that thing, whether it's a moth spinning that cocoon or just the gradual transformation of caterpillar into chrysalis.
Right. And then so once that happens, once the cocoon is full or the chrysalis is hardened, one of the most amazing things that on Earth happens in there. And it's neat because we've gotten to the point where we have photography that can peer inside of this without harming the caterpillar. And they have like time-lapse videos of this transformation. And as the thing turns more and more into what's obviously like a butterfly or a moth, and you see it hanging upside down, just forming, it looks like a cross between an H.R. Geiger painting and Michael Crichton's Coma, the movie version.
Yeah.
It's really neat. But it also gives you this, it has this kind of regal and majestic feel to it as well. I produced a lot of emotions in me, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it's this isn't the sciencey explanation, but it's almost as if you can take a tray of put a bunch of spaghetti and meatballs in a dish and cover it up, and then when you open it up, it's a lasagna.
Yeah,
and you're like, how did that happen? Like, how did that even happen?
So this is how it happens. The caterpillar breaks itself down into a soup of cells. Like it's basically like a caterpillar soup for a while. And some of the cells keep their form generally, or at least stay attached to one another. So those leg cells,
yeah,
they change. They look different. Like a caterpillar's actual true legs look different from the butterfly's true legs, but they're still the same cells. They rearrange themselves a little bit. Most of the other cells just completely come apart, turn into imaginal cells, which are analogous to our stem cells, in that they can turn into any kind of cell. And then it reconfigures itself using the same cells, same amount, same everything, into a butterfly. It reconfigures itself over the course of about 2 weeks.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. Like my brain breaks every time I try to make sense, especially when you see what comes out. You know, I mean, if it came out looking like a dung beetle, like that would still be awesome. But to come out looking like a butterfly with those iridescent wings and the little faces on those wings, it's just unbelievable. And I guess, I mean, evolutionarily speaking, this is all to eventually get to like a pollinator.
I don't understand it. This is where I think that science is kind of thrown off. They're like,
really?
the best explanation I saw is that it's better than having two things compete for the same food source. But that doesn't really make any sense, you know, because that doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't understand that. But that was the best explanation I saw, and I didn't even understand it. So
as to the why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just so strange. I just don't understand it. And everything goes through life stages. We go through puberty. We become adults. We go from infant babies to grown adults. But there's not a period where we stop and over the course of 2 weeks completely reconfigure ourselves into a new form. There's not that many things out there that do that. And we just don't fully understand why it happens. And maybe we never will. And I think that'd be just fine.
Although I would argue that the Josh Clark I knew 15 years ago, his caterpillar-like has now emerged as a beautiful butterfly.
Thank you. I remember reading when Christopher Hitchens became a conservative, one of the liberal members of parliament said that this is one of the rare instances where the butterfly turns back into the slug.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd like to hear with that accent.
I think I read that in 2007 and it still stuck with me.
Yeah, that's a good one. We didn't take our second break, did we?
No, it's time.
All right. Well, let's take our second break. We'll probably still be talking about this metamorphosis, you know, when we come back. So just be prepared.
We've all had the experience of calling a business and just wanting to talk to a real person. Not an automated voice pretending to be human, an actual person who can listen and understand and offer help.
That's exactly what you can do with Ruby. Ruby is the virtual receptionist company that takes care of your callers when you're unavailable in the middle of something or simply don't want to pick up.
That's right. They can answer, screen, transfer calls. They can take messages, collect payments, book appointments, and more, all while making the people you serve feel special.
And best of all, it can help you be more productive. For example, 9 out of 10 lawyers who use Ruby log more billable hours per day than the national average.
And other professionals like plumbers and technicians win more customers while being able to stay focused on the job. But whatever kind of small business you run, Ruby is built to save you time, earn you more customers or clients, and make meaningful connections with the people you serve.
It's available 24/7, 365 days a year, and 100% based in the U.S. See why more than 15,000 small businesses use Ruby. Visit ruby.com, or better yet, call them at 844-900-RUBY. Hey everybody, here's a fact for you. In the United States, there is a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means that somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer. And the problem with most security systems is that they only alert you after the break-in has started, and that's too late.
Well, that's what makes SimpliSafe different. They use alerts. SimpliSafe's US-based live agents, they identify threats on your property and help deter them before they actually break in. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime is stopped before it even starts.
That's right. And another great thing about SimpliSafe is they have no long-term contracts. They give you peace of mind and great value with their monitoring deterrence plans because they just start at about $1 a day.
Yeah, SimpliSafe sent us a setup years back, and I still use mine every day.
Yeah, and apparently setup, you can do it by yourself in under 30 minutes. So it's a really good value and it doesn't take long.
So if you want to experience the SimpliSafe peace of mind, you can take advantage of the SimpliSafe discount offered to Stuff You Should Know listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/stuff. That's half off at simplisafe.com/stuff. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Work can be a little weird. One minute you're in a meeting that could have been an email. The next you're trying to decode corporate jargon that somehow means nothing. And don't even get us started on the quick sync that turns into a 45-minute deep dive.
Yeah, well, the truth is figuring out your career isn't always straightforward. Whether you're trying to grow, pivot, or just stay relevant, it can feel like you're navigating it all on your own. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in.
That's right. LinkedIn can help you grow your career, helping you confidently navigate your path with insights, ideas, and inspiration from your professional community. You can stay up to date with the latest trends in your field, connect with people who get it, and discover opportunities tailored to your goals, your experience, and what actually matters to you.
Whether you're looking for something new or just trying to grow where you are, LinkedIn gives you the tools and connections to move forward with confidence. Because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more.
Learning stuff with Joshua and Charles. Stuff you should know.
All right. I mean, I guess we're done talking about metamorphosis. It's called holometabolism.
Yeah.
That full transformation. And I don't think you said it takes a couple of weeks generally?
Yeah, I saw about 2 weeks. Something like that on average. It can be more or less depending on the weather and stuff.
Yeah, and I took it as depending on the weather, meaning is that they don't want to do this in the middle of winter. So if they get started in winter comes early, maybe they'll just stay in there for a few months. Is that right?
There are some species that overwinter in their cocoon or in their chrysalis. And that's just part of their thing. But I saw that there's an ideal temperature. That's what I took it to mean.
Oh, okay.
And that the ideal temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. And get this, buddy, I converted it to Fahrenheit using the formula we talked about the other day.
So you did it yourself?
Yeah, it's like I wrote it down. I could do it again if I wanted to, but I'm just going to find what I wrote down. I think it's like 88, 89 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right. I love it when, after all these years.
81. It's 81.
You're still brave enough to put yourself out there with math.
Here, I'll just do this, okay? So we're trying to find Fahrenheit from 21 degrees Celsius. So it's 21 plus 32. Okay, we're getting everything back equal again. Mm-hmm. So what is that, 56? Times 1.8, I believe, comes to 81.
When was the last time you did sort of written down long division or something like that?
Oh, it's been a long time. By the way, it's 84.6.
84.6. Can you still do that stuff?
I don't know. Probably if I gave enough time to it, sure. It's not a part of my life anymore.
I actually don't know if I remember how to do long division. I recently, because Ruby is starting, like this past year, started like multiplication and stuff, and came at me with like a 3-digit times a 2-digit. And I was like, oh, you know what? I was like, I got it. I remember. And I remembered how to do that and to carry the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely don't think I could do long division anymore. I sort of remember, but I don't think I would fully be able to complete a problem.
By the way, I know I brushed past it because I don't handle compliments that well, but I do appreciate the comment about me metamorphosizing into a butterfly.
Oh, that was a joke. I'm just kidding.
We'll definitely edit this part out.
No, it was for sure true. I appreciate you appreciating that.
So did we just come back from ad break? Is that really what's going on here?
Yeah, that's what's going on. But we can wrap it up and talk about caterpillar management, because here's the deal. Caterpillars eat leaves, and they can eat garden stuff if you have a garden that you're planting, but it's not that big a deal. Like, individual caterpillars are not gonna ravage your garden and spoil your garden. If you have big groups of those gregarious caterpillars, they can cause problems. But if you see caterpillars in your garden, don't overreact and be like, I got to start killing all these caterpillars. Take a breath, assess your problem. Are they ravaging your garden, or do you just have some caterpillars here and there? Like, because you want those butterflies later on, don't you?
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's a big part. And it's not just for their beauty either. Caterpillars and butterflies alike are a food source for birds, which is sad, but it's part of the circle of life, I guess. So that's one reason alone. They're also, probably even more important for your garden, pollinators.
Yeah.
Big time pollinators. There was a Dead Milkman joke in there. I couldn't quite make it. But they pollinate, they're a food source. And most caterpillars, although all of them eat leaves, and again, like we said, they're eating machines, the amount of damage they're doing is really kind of pales in comparison to the benefits you get from having them in your ecosystem. So for the most part, you want to just leave them alone.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole section, if you're interested, on how to kill and get rid of caterpillars at howstuffworks.com in this article, but I don't even feel like talking about it, to be honest.
Well, let's talk about gregarious caterpillars, because those are the ones that really are problematic. They can, on a bad year or a good year for the gregarious caterpillars, they can consume up to a quarter of the leaves in a forest.
Yeah.
And they if they attack the same tree enough times, they'll kill a tree. So gypsy moth caterpillars are gregarious, and they're well known for killing trees just from eating the leaves off of it. That's how much damage they can do. And they can also harm crops too. So gregarious caterpillars you actually probably do want to get rid of if you come across it. But the key is prevention. Like, you look for the eggs, which form a ring around like a tree branch, and take care of those then. Like, don't try to deal with them later. It's going to be too late. You want to be proactive. They say the best defense is shooting your poop.
Right.
5 feet away from you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're in forest management, or if you're a farmer, and it has like a literal effect on your crops or your forest and stuff like that, they're out there, burning tents and nests and things like that. But that's not something you should go out and try to do, because you don't want to catch something on a tree on fire. Just not a good idea. But
can't you just see somebody trying to get rid of caterpillars
People
and be
do
like,
that.
uh-oh, and then you just started a wildfire?
Yes, I can. I really can.
It's hilarious if you think about it. It's so dumb.
It is. Should we finish up with the assassin caterpillar?
Well, can I talk about one more thing you don't want to talk about just for a second? Because
Sure.
I think it's kind of nuts as well.
Okay.
There's a bacterium called Bacillus thuringiensis, I believe, or
Okay.
BT for short. This is a bacteria that people purposely introduce as a caterpillar control measure. And it goes in and it produces holes in the caterpillar's gut and leads to sepsis, and it dies a painful death a few days after being infected. This is considered organic gardening. The problem is it doesn't just target caterpillars you don't want. It targets all caterpillars, and it's also a pretty terrible way to die. So I think I'm with you, Chuck, man. I think you say the caterpillars are here to stay as long as they're not gregarious. I'm just going to let them live and let live.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to get on that soapbox for a second.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I mentioned the assassin caterpillar. This is the Lanomia obliqua, or the giant silkworm moth, or the assassin caterpillar. It is the deadliest caterpillar in the world, and there have been supposedly several hundred people in South America that have died from the toxin injected from this caterpillar quills.
From the setae.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot. Like even if one of them, injected some toxin into you, you're going to be uncomfortable and it probably won't feel great. But I think you need to get 20 to 100 times that to actually kill you. Yet it still happens.
Yeah, it does. Apparently, it's responsible for 500 deaths around South America, I think total, like in all time, as far as documented goes.
Yeah.
It takes a lot, I think 20 to 100 times to kill you. But the way that it kills you is it's an anticoagulant, a very powerful one, and you die of internal bleeding, essentially.
Yeah, it's a blood thinner.
Yeah. And that actually is being studied. The toxins in that particular caterpillar are being studied for its usefulness in biomedicine.
Yeah, I think there are only, there's like 32 species of Lanomia, but only 2 of those have that blood thinner venom, the obliqua and then the Achilles.
But the rest will still sting you. It's just not going to kill you. It'll still hurt. That's South America. In North America, the biggest one we have is the puss caterpillar, Puss. Megalopyge opercularis, the southern flannel moth. And just accidentally brushing it can cause excruciating pain, I've seen. So just be careful. Like, admire caterpillars with your eyes, not with your hands.
Yeah, I guess I got lucky as a kid by just letting them crawl on me for a minute, but
yeah.
I never felt that sting.
There's one other thing, too. The eastern tent caterpillars are problematic, especially in places like Kentucky, because they cause what's called mare reproductive loss syndrome, where just, I think, 50 grams, which is 1/10 of a pound, of these caterpillars ingested by a horse while it's foraging can cause it to lose its fetus, have a stillborn birth, all sorts of crazy stuff, so much so that it has a whole syndrome named after it, and it's just from eating these caterpillars.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is. This is a good one.
I thought you'd like that. Yeah, caterpillars are great. I think we should do a 2-parter with butterflies.
Oh, should we?
Sure.
I think Tracy wrote that one, too.
Okay, I say we get on it then, Chuck.
I was going to suggest that, but then I thought, is that too much?
I don't know. I guess they don't have to come out back to back. They can be companion pieces. How about that?
No, we're back to back, and then we can skip the metamorphosis part.
Okay. Well, while we're figuring that out, I say, everybody, it's time for listener mail.
I'm going to call this Stuff You Should Know Crossy. I was very excited because one of our listeners, I'll just read it. I'll let you hang on that for a second. Hey, guys, when my wife, Katie, and I were dating, we would meet up at lunch to do the daily crossword together. I proposed to her 20 years ago using a crossword I constructed myself.
Yes.
And years later, it's not only crosswords, but stuff you should know that keeps our marriage life vibrant. It gives us something to talk about every week. And needless to say, your recent episode on crossword puzzles brought our life together full circle. About 10 years after we married, I became a published crossword constructor and I've continued ever since with puzzles in the LA Times, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, among others. So Jeff is pretty experienced as a crossy maker. As a thank you for a wonderful episode, I'm sending you an original puzzle with the Stuff You Should Know theme.
Wow.
For you to enjoy.
Wow.
And I haven't done it yet. It is printed out in my office. He sent me sent us it's not a digital version, so I can't do it on my phone. I got to get out the old pencil.
Nice.
Which would be kind of fun. And I can't wait to tackle it. I've just been waiting for the right window of time. And that is from Jeff Stillman. And big shout out to Jeff and his wife, Katie.
I don't know how I missed that one, but I'm glad you called it out because I can't wait to do that puzzle too. So thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Good. Jeff Stillman, go look at your emails and print that sucker out.
Yes. Well, thank you to you both, Jeff and Katie. And if you want to be like Jeff and send us some amazing thing, that's fine with us. You can send it via email to stuffpodcast@iheartradio.com.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Mom, can I have Lingo Kids? Dad, Lingo Kids, please!
When did we become the Lingo Kids house?
No idea. Last week it was dinosaurs. This week it's...
Lingo Kids!
Why Lingo Kids?
Because it's the best thing ever. We can play games with astronauts, wild animals, and superheroes.
With more than 4,000 interactive games, songs, and shows, Lingo Kids is the #1 entertainment platform for young kids.
So, no dinosaurs?
And dinosaurs! Lingo Kids!
Everything kids love. Download it for free.
You know, you could be adored by everyone and still completely ignored by your cat. Trust me, I know. But if you feed your cat Sheba, you can go from being ignored to truly adored in 12 days guaranteed or your money back. Sheba has a full menu of products, appetizers, entrees, treats, even a kitten's menu. It's so cute. So Sheba has a product for even the pickiest eater. Like Sheba Puree, it's made with bone broth, their chef-inspired flavors. It's got a smooth and creamy texture that cats love and contains no corn, wheat, soy, or artificial flavors. It's food that your cat's gonna love. To learn more, check out Sheba.com. That's SHEBA.com.
Stuff at Sea is a 5-night, adults-only sailing trip that brings the Stuff Podcast universe to life on board. This voyage is a culture-soaked escape where pink sand paradise meets curious minds. Sailing round trip from New York City to Bermuda on October 2nd to 7th, 2026, this voyage drops you straight into the iHeart Podcast Stuff universe. On top of the adults-only experience you already love, you'll get live podcast episode recordings, behind-the-scenes sessions, themed activations, and more unmissable onboard moments. Learn more at virginvoyages.com/stuff.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.